Good morning, I'm Martin Wenzel. This is Microsoft Flight Simulator, and we are in Lagos, Nigeria at Murtala Muhammad International Airport. And we're going to be flying today to Felix Houphouët Boigny International Airport. Probably butchered the French there. And that's in Abidjan, Ivory Coast, specifically in Port Bouet. This flight is based on Middle East Airlines 571, which is usually flown using an A320-200, but I'm going to use the A320nx FlyByWire's A32NX mod for the Airbus 320neo with the Middle East Airlines livery created by Selçuk Dikilitas. There's a link below for that. I'll be using PAC-X, Volanta, Benny Overlay, Navigraphs, and Pushback Helper today as well. And here we even have a little custom thing saying Cedar Jet. That's the call sign for Middle East Airlines. And they're out of, Middle East Airlines is out of Lebanon, which is why we have a flag right there, or the tree, the cedar tree. I would assume that's a cedar tree, right? All right, let's do our pre-checks. Parking brakes set, flaps are retracted, spoilers are retracted, engine masters are off, ignition is at normal, thrust lever is idle, landing gear is down, anti-skid nose wheel steering is on, and the wipers are off. VHF-1 is freaking out. Just turn up the lights so that when we turn it on, I'll be ready to go. So batteries, make sure our co-pilot is not going to call for a pushback. Battery 1 and 2 on, external power on, strobe lights set to auto. We'll set our nav. Actually, you want to go 1, 2, 3. Do our APU fire test. Engine 2 fire test. Engine 1 fire test. We'll get our APU started now as well. Seatbelt signs. No smoking set to auto. Emergency exits. Lights armed, and we'll get the passengers coming on board now. Alright, cruising altitude is going to be 36,000. Flight time, we're going to give an hour 15, but we'll probably get there in an hour. And we have 175 passengers today. We do have boarding music. And a custom safety brief. And we're going to do Wi-Fi today. Get the fly pad opened up, and we will request our we want to get our fuel coming on board. That's what we need to do first. There we go. Taking a while to grab it from SimBrief. Check our fuel. We need 7,111 kilograms today. Take 5 minutes for that to be loaded. Once that is on, then we will get our fuel pumps on. All right, let's tune the ground and get our IFR clearance.
Lagos ground, CedarJet 571 IFR to Abidjan, ready to copy.
CedarJet 571 is cleared to Abidjan Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 36 left climb and maintain 12,000 feet. Departure frequency is 121.7 squawk 5261.
CedarJet 571 cleared to Abidjan Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 36 left climb and maintain 12,000 feet. Departure on 121.7 squawk 5261.
CedarJet 571 read back correct. Contact ground on 121.9er.
We have our ATC on standby. It always automatically goes to on, but you wouldn't be on yet. All right, let's go into our flight computer. Get our initial data request. And then we'll go to our init button. Our alternate today is going to be Accra, Ghana. Delta Golf Alpha Alpha. Flight number 571. Cost index is 5. Cruising level is 360 today. And we're gonna go then to our H2. We'll do that once we get our fuel all on board. We'll go to the flight plan. Getting it on the overlay there. And we'll start putting it in. First we have Polto. Then we're taking that direct to Accra VOR. Then to MIMT.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I would
MD.
love to welcome you aboard our flight. When you
MD.
find your seat, please be sure to place your larger carry-on items in the overhead bins and smaller items
Enoch.
underneath the seat in front of you. Unless you're in the front row, please place all of your items in the overhead bin. If you have any trouble finding a location
Debris.
to carry-on items, please let a flight attendant know and we would be happy to assist you. If the overhead bin is full, please make sure you close it as a courtesy to other passengers.
And
Please double check that all your items are put
think
away
this is
so
gonna
that
be an
the aisle
airway.
is clear and other passengers can make their way to their seats. If you're in an emergency exit row, please read the exit seating responsibilities
put
in
it
the
in
card
there.
in the seat back in front of you. If you're not able to comply with these
Insert.
actions, please let a flight attendant know so that way you can be received. You are free to use your
Now we're gonna
portable
check the
electronic
plan,
devices during the
make sure
boarding
there's no
process. We
discontinuities.
ask that larger electronic devices are stowed once you depart from the gate. Thank you and welcome aboard.
That's perfect. Go to our performance page. We're going to be doing flaps 1. Our transition altitude today. We're we're going to go up here and I'll show you how we do this, where we can get this information. Go on your current airport, just pick one of the approach charts. 3,500 is your transition altitude. That's where you're going to be switching from the ground pressure to the standard pressure on your barometer right there. All right, I'm not going to go into in-depth today, just because it's a short flight. We're not going to go crazy with all the calculations and everything. I just usually put in about 58 degrees for flex takeoff temperature. And these numbers are usually sufficient for our takeoff, our V speeds. Now, when I do a longer flight, I'll pull out a calculator and go through this. But you don't have to do it every flight, and consider this just a simulation. This is not a study level craft, and don't have to do that. But obviously the real pilots are going through and they're doing all calculations. They're going through each page here and setting up exactly speeds and all that stuff, making sure everything is right. We will do this approach page like usual. Well, zero fuel weight. Go back over here. I think we do now have all of our fuel on board, so we can do that. Planning is going to tell us we need about half as much, but we actually have 7.1 on board. You're set there. Do our predicted wind shear, and the cockpit door is locked. I don't know why it's so hard to get the down. We're there now. All right, barometric reference. So we're going to go over here to the ATIS, the Lagos ATIS.
Lagos Airport information, Kilo 0600 Zulu. Wind 273 at 7. Visibility 7. Sky condition, few clouds at 1,000 feet. Temperature 15. Dew point 13. QNH 29.92. Visual runway 36 right and visual runway 36 left in use.
Okay, QNH is standard 2992, so we don't have to change it at all. VOR if we need it, we don't. Our altitude is 12,000 initial speed. Our heading should be dash. We're going to keep that just so I remember. But once we let's put that in right now. Our takeoff runway is 36 left. Actually, you should write this stuff down, actually. 36 left, no standard instrument departure. Now we'll go dashed. Alignment, our IRS alignment is, that's our navigation. Our GPS and everything has been aligned. EFIS, that's right here. We want an arc and a range of 10, and our flight directors are already both on. Okay, we're ready to go. Let's get the tug in place. Jetway disconnected.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome aboard Flight 571. Our flight time will be roughly 1 hour and 15 minutes. Now that the cabin door is closed, please make sure that all devices are in airplane mode and your large devices are now shut down and stowed. Please fasten your seatbelt and make sure that all tray tables and seat backs are in the full upright and locked position.
And we're clearing our white lights.
Cabin crew, prepare doors for departure. Cross-check, verify straps, and stand by.
In the Airbus, we're only going to have these 3 lights on. I believe there's going to be I'm not sure which light over here should be on too. Oh, I'm going to watch. I was just watching a video yesterday in a real Airbus, and one light over here also on. And they are all functional now, so. We definitely want our APU on. And everything else, these generators will come on once we have the engine going. All right, beacon light on. Nav light on as well. Seatbelt sign on. And we should be ready for pushback. Parking brake released. You can start pushback. Ignition.
Ladies
Starting
and
engine
gentlemen,
2.
please direct your attention to the screen for an important safety demonstration. Thank you for flying with us.
أهلا بكم في ربوعنا الخلاب.
Hello and welcome aboard Middle East Airlines.
طيران الشرق الأوسط يرحب بكم. نبدأ رحلتنا بإلقاء نظرة على إرشادات السلامة.
Before we take off, we're going to take you on a different kind of journey. So listen carefully to the safety instructions.
نرجو منكم الإصغاء. لسلامتكم يرجى وضع الحقائب في مقصورة التخفيف فوق كرسيكم أو تحت المقعد أمامكم.
For your safety, make sure your cabin luggage is stowed away under the seat in front of you or in the overhead compartments.
وجهتنا الآن حزام الأمان.
First stop, seatbelt district.
عند إضاءة إشارة الأحزمة يرجى ربط الحزام.
Whenever the seatbelt sign is illuminated, make sure to always fasten your seatbelt. Buckle up.
لربط الحزام.
To fasten your seatbelt.
لفك الحزام.
To
Starting
unfasten
engine
your
1.
seatbelt.
لراحتكم وسلامتكم يرجى الإبقاء على أحزمة المقاعد مربوطة وظاهرة أثناء جلوسكم.
For your safety and comfort, we recommend you keep your seatbelt fastened and visible at all times.
I'm just gonna have them push us all the way back so we can go out
التدخين
right
ممنوع
here.
منعاً باتا على متن هذه الطائرة وهذا يشمل
Because we're not
السجارة
on the line
الإلكترونية.
anyway.
فالتدخين مضر بالرحلة.
Smoking on
Probably
board this
typically wouldn't want
aircraft,
to be pushing
including
back this way.
electronic cigarettes,
With all your
is
jet wash
strictly
going right into the
prohibited.
terminal.
والمغازل مزودة بأجهزة الإنذار. متفقون؟
And the lavatories are equipped with smoke detectors, just in case you were tempted to smoke in there.
حان وقت الاسترخاء.
Up next, digital detox.
خلال الإقلاع والهبوط أطفئوا جميع الأجهزة الخليوية والإلكترونية واستريحوا.
For your safety, make sure your electronic devices and mobile phones are switched off during takeoff and landing.
جمال يقطع الأنفاس.
Now for a breath of fresh air.
في حال انخفاض الضغط في المقصورة ستهبط الأقنعة تلقائيا أمامكم.
APU lead and master switch off, taxi light on, runway turn off, light on,
قبل مساعدة الآخرين.
probe window
In
heat
case of a
is
sudden loss of
set to
cabin
auto,
pressure, oxygen
transponder
mask
is
will
set,
drop
spoilers
down automatically.
are
Pull the mask to start the
armed.
flow of oxygen. Place it over your nose and mouth and breathe normally. Then assist others.
في حال الهبوط الاضطراري يجب أخذ وضعية الانحناء المناسبة لكرسيكم مع تثبيت الأرجل على الأرض.
In case of an emergency landing, adopt the brace position appropriate to your seat.
Flaps
with
set
your
to
feet
1.
firmly on the floor.
والآن نطلب منكم تحديد أقرب مخرج لكم وقد يكون خلفكم.
Take a moment to locate the nearest exit. It might be behind you. Is it?
إن هذه الطائرة مجهزة بعدة مخارج للطوارئ على جانبي المقصورة.
This aircraft is equipped with exits on both sides of the cabin.
للخروج
Weather
من
radar
الطائرة
on.
اتركوا جميع أمتعتكم الشخصية واتبعوا أضواء
Air
الطوارئ
taxi
المرئية.
clearance.
Lagos
To exit the plane, leave all your personal belongings behind and follow the emergency lights.
Leaderjet 571 taxi to and hold short of runway 3 left flight taxiway Bravo Alpha. Contact tower on 118.
وجهتنا الآن الأناقة.
Next up, fashion redefined.
سوف تجدون سترات النجاة تحت مقاعدكم. مرر الرأس في الفتحة. لفوا الشريط حول الخصر. اسحبوا الشريط لتثبيت السترة.
An awesome life-saving vest is located under your seat. Slip it on over your head, pass the belt around your waist, clip it, and tighten it.
فقط عند الخروج من الطائرة يمكنكم نفخها وذلك بشد وصلات النفخ الحمراء الأمامية إلى الأسفل. إذا لزم الأمر يمكنكم النفخ بواسطة الفم عبر قنوات النفخ المطاطية.
Only while leaving this aircraft can you inflate your vest by pulling down the red tags. In case it doesn't inflate, use the mouth tube.
وللفت الأنظار استخدموا الصفارة.
Use the whistle to draw attention.
جاهزون للإقلاع؟
Let's fly away.
تأكدوا أن ظهر المقعد مستقيم والطاولة مغلقة أمامكم وستائر النوافذ مفتوحة وأن جميع الممرات ومخارج الطوارئ خالية.
Remember to prepare for takeoff and landing by making sure that your seats are in the upright position, all your tables are stowed, all the aisles are cleared, and the window shades are open.
للمزيد من المعلومات يرجى قراءة إرشادات السلامة الموجودة في جيب المقعد الأمامي.
For more information, please refer to the safety leaflet located in the seat pocket in front of you.
لراحتكم وسلامتكم.
Your safety is our top priority.
طيران الشرق الأوسط يتمنى لكم رحلة سعيدة.
On behalf of Middle East Airlines, we wish you a pleasant flight.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that they gave us runway 18 left, the shorter runway, and typically probably the domestic runway, because these are all the domestic terminals. And where we were is in between, so you can go either way, obviously, but much closer to just go to the runway 18 right. We're going to go with what they said. Do a cabin check.
Flight attendants, please prepare for takeoff.
While we're taxiing, we'll give you a look at the flight plan. Just gonna be going along the coast. Our alternate landing is Accra. So if we get to Abidjan and can't land there, we will double back to Accra and land. Just along this coast, we'll be passing over Benin, Togo, and Ghana on our way to the Ivory Coast. Yeah, they're not giving us any. Oh no. Oh no. I went to the wrong runway. Oh, what am I doing? We're 3-6 left. Oh wow. So I made the whole fuss about us being sent to to runway 18 left when we've been sent to runway 36 left, which is the longer runway and which is closer to the international terminal. Now we're gonna have to go the whole way back. Oh, that's where real life ATC would be telling you, where are you going? Middle East Airlines, you know, Cedar Jet 571, where are you going? Now it's kind of weird because the taxi clearance, if we look at the taxi clearance was taxi to and hold short, runway 36 left. Now, yeah, right there, 36 left. Via taxiway Bravo Alpha. Okay, well, there is no taxiway Bravo where we were coming from. It should have been taxiway Foxtrot, maybe Foxtrot Alpha. And they gave us Bravo, so I got Bravo in my head, and was looking for that. So now we're going to be going down. We're going down Charlie right now. And we'll pull this up so you can see what I did. And I feel really dumb now. We're right here. Came out, took Bravo to runway 18 left. We weren't even in the right direction. But now we're going Charlie. We're going to have to come all the way back. Then we'll get Alpha. See, the Bravo screwed me up because there is no Bravo in the international apron. So, kind of a strange taxi. And I wasn't paying attention, wasn't thinking. And that's a time-consuming mistake. So here's Charlie 4. We're going to cross runway 36 right. And of course this van is going to go right where we're trying to go. Are you... Now he's going to stop because reasons. The ground traffic... There's a lot of work they need to do with the ground traffic because it's kind of ridiculous. The ground traffic's constantly driving on runways, driving all over the taxiways, right in front of planes. I get that there's some ground movement and you got to avoid it, but it seems like wherever your taxiway is, there's just a parade of ground traffic. And again, ground traffic usually doesn't drive on the taxiways. They drive on designated paths that sometimes cross taxiways and gates and the occasional runway. Alright, so this is where we were supposed to go originally. Taxiway Alpha. Moving around this airport, I was watching a plane spotting video at Chicago O'Hare yesterday, and just watching all the planes. Just so much traffic on the ground, planes moving around, getting lined up, taking off, landing. Now, Chicago obviously is a much busier airport. I believe it's right now the busiest airport in the world. It's actually busier than Atlanta, Hartsfield Jackson Airport right now, which typically is the busiest by takeoffs and departures. but I believe Chicago right now is the busiest. And it's just amazing watching all the traffic, and kind of wishing that we could have that here in Flight Simulator, that bustling airport, and also optimize in a way that it's still playable, still get at least 30 frames per second. 30 frames per second is kind of I'd say the minimum is 20 when you're coming in for a landing or takeoff. Obviously 30 is better, and the higher you can get, always better. But the places where your frame rate are gonna really take a hit, and you guys have probably noticed this on my simulator, your simulators if you're playing, is that when you're coming into an airport and landing, that's when you get the worst frame rates, and potentially on takeoff too. The good thing about takeoff is it's not as intricate process as landing. Landing, you kind of trying to adjust your throttle, line up with the center line, and it seems I had a few flights coming in where coming in some places I was getting 5 frames per second trying to land, and it's just impossible. And what was happening is it was loading in all the ground parked aircraft. So if you turn that down somewhat or completely, you'll get better frame rates coming into airports to land. But it does make your airport very barren. And even with the static aircraft, they're just sitting there. They're not moving around. I mean, an airport's usually bustling, especially the bigger airports. Obviously, some of these airports I'm at right now, there's not going to be a ton of traffic moving around. Well, hopefully, as we move forward with Microsoft Flight Simulator, we're going to see more. More updates addressing that, I hope. Alright, now we're at the right runway. Now the co-pilot should be requesting our takeoff clearance. Spent 10 minutes touring the airport.
Lagos Tower Cedarjet 571 at runway 36 left, ready for departure IFR to Abidjan.
Cedarjet 571 QNH 29.902 wind 27 tree 7. Cleared for takeoff runway 36 left.
Cleared for takeoff runway 36 left, Cedarjet 571.
Lined up for takeoff. Stabilized, setting takeoff speed. Brakes released. B1, rotate. Positive rate. Gear up.
Cedarjet 571 contact.
12,000 feet.
Cedarjet 571 Kono.
Thrust lever climb.
To continue as planned.
Nose light, runway turn off lights off. Spoiler retracted. Flaps 1 retracted. Look at that city down there. So cool. Barometer set to standard. Autopilot set. Quite the city. I think we always forget Nigeria is, I believe, the 6th largest country in the world by population. This is the capital. Capital in most nations usually is the largest city. Not always, but in many places. Feet, turn off our landing lights, and the seatbelt sight comes off. Seatbelt sign comes off. Yeah, it's a very heavily populated coastline. You see that interesting, like the lagoon. Ports are actually off of the bay. And we're gonna be coming over Porto Novo soon. Cotonou, which will be our destination when we're traveling to Benin. We'll pass by Lomé in Togo, which will be our destination to get Lomé, and then we'll be going right over Accra, which will be our destination to travel to Ghana. We're going over all the major airports that we'll be going to in the next few flights. Just kind of bouncing back and forth along this coastline. Let's get some clearance here.
Kano Center, Cedarjet 571. Request flight level 220.
Cedarjet 571 climb and maintain flight level 180. Expect flight level 220.
And maintain flight level 180. Expect flight level 220. Cedarjet 571.
Pretty cleared all the way up to
Honda Center,
36,000.
Leaderjet 571. Request flight level 320.
Leaderjet 571, climb and maintain flight level 180. Expect flight level 320.
Climb and maintain flight level 180. Expect flight level 320. Leaderjet 571. Honda Center, Leaderjet 571. Request flight level 360.
Leaderjet 571, climb and maintain flight level 180. Expect flight level 360.
Climb and maintain flight level 180. Expect flight level 360. Leaderjet 571.
Leaderjet 571, contact Accra Center on 123.1.
We're gonna jump inside the box here and
123.1 Cedar
get our performance
571.
approach phase data entered.
Accra
Our
Center,
Q&H.
Leaderjet 571 is at
Should do it from here.
17,100 feet, climbing flight level 180.
Reached our first waypoint, Polto,
Leaderjet 571, Accra Center, QNH 29.9
and our Q&H is the same. We're not going too far, it's only an hour flight, so most of the stuff's gonna be the same.
Maintain flight level 260.
Temp
Climb and
is
maintain
28,
flight level 260 Cedarjet 571.
wind 220 at 10 knots. And then our transition altitude, do the same thing we did for our takeoff, and we'll go to Benue International. We just need to look at one of the charts. Transition is 3,100. Now the Barrow, that's going to be your minimums for your approach, for your landing runway. Right now we are planned for runway 21. What we can do, look at some approaches. They're likely going to give us the VOR, but there's a couple different VORs. We'll just kind of look at the chart here. Just get an idea of what we're looking for. We got our transition altitude, 3,100. When we get to Dipri, which it looks like this is probably the plan, it's going to be coming in this way. Hopefully, because that's what we're doing right now. We need to be at 2,200 feet at Dipri. And that is on our chart. You can already see that. That's one of our waypoints. Our minimum would be 430 feet, which is 419 feet above the runway, because the runway elevation is 11 feet. So add 11 to that, that's your minimum. So 430 feet is our minimum on this approach. Now we can check some other approaches. Let's see. Let's do this ILS one. ILS minimums are a little bit lower because you are on the ILS. Now, if the glide slope was out, you'd then be 430, which would be the same as the VOR, I believe. Looks like most stuff's about the same. Here we need to be at 2,200, max speed of 220 knots. So this is stuff you kind of want to look at before. Again, this is all simulation purposes. This isn't exactly how they would do it. In real life, you have a whole printout. You know they're going through all this in their pre-flight briefing. But this is some stuff we can put in right now. Like, for example, I want to put in the VOR right now. I like to just have some of this stuff already in. And in In fact, you can probably put this in on the ground at your takeoff airport as well, because you can put 2 frequencies. The VOR 1, we're going to put 114.3, that's the VOR. We'll put in the ILS for runway 21, it's going to be 110.3. Then our course, go back to that VOR, because the VOR is going to be slightly different than the ILS. This will all be adjusted based on what air traffic control gives us. You see our course is 207 degrees. And that's important because the VOR can go, the VOR is just a point, and then you go off of that with a course.
Cedar Jet 571, climb and maintain flight level 360.
Climb and maintain flight level 360, Cedar Jet 571.
Right down there is Cotonou, which is where we'll be landing, that airport. We will be going there. I don't think our next flight. Could be our next flight, though. Few flights for now, and then back up here is Porto Novo. We are over... now passing over Benin, country of Benin. Never figure out how to get back into the cockpit from some of these angles. I had it down one day, and then it seemed today I can't get it. So it's bouncing all the different cameras. We're headed to the Accra VOR. We'll pass Lomé, will be just below us to our right, on the right-hand side. Right there, that's Lake Aheme. That river is the border between Benin and... oh no, never mind, that's a provincial border. But we are coming up on the border between Benin and Togo. there. So that is the border between the two countries, and then there's another river, and this actually all right here is still part of Benin for a while, because there is another river, and when that comes out right over there, then this is all Togo. Kind of see Lake Togo right there, and beyond it, that's going to be Lomé. Lomé's right on the border with Ghana. Right after Lomé, then we'll be passing into Ghana. I'm trying to see if I can see the airport. Kind of hard to see. Our next flight will be to Accra, so it's going to be a short one because it'll just be going to be about half the length of this one, because our alternate today is Accra, so we'll just be coming back Accra, and then from Accra we'll be going over to Sao Tome. That's what I was thinking. Sao Tome Island, and Sao Tome and Principe. We'll kind of bounce around so we can get some lengthier flights. Otherwise, we'll just kind of go on these short little hops between these countries that are all right on top of each other. Nearing at our cruising altitude.
starting our in-flight service. We'll be serving complimentary food snacks. Please look in our list of complimentary and premium drinks. Premium drinks are available for a small charge. Please note that we only accept credit cards.
Going over Kita Lagoon. Kita Lagoon on the eastern part of Ghana. And off to our left is the Gulf of Guinea. And in front of us is, off in the distance, immediately in front of us, we can see Lake Songa Lagoon. And up there probably is going to be Accra, which will be our destination next flight. Flight crew is serving snacks and drinks. Let's just take a look at PAC-X. See, it's got PACX has passenger names, and the passenger names are localized. Good mix of names that you'd find in this part of the world, along with some from other places in the world, denoting travelers. Like here, Hyunjo Joda on a business trip. Really cool names too, like Gift, Blessing, Ding Xiang Wang, on a leisure trip. I always point out the names that are kind of, the names probably are not from the area, like here, Paula Nichols on leisure. Does not mean they can't be, but just, this one's an interesting. Yong An Akhmetova. Jose Viroal. I'm looking for names that are out of the, a little out of this area, not so local. Actually, some of these here, like Dominic Gonzaga. Usama Ezadek Bekoshe. Really cool. You can click on them and they have all the different stats and stuff. Pretty cool. You can see the flight attendants giving them their snacks. I don't usually watch this too much, but I've never seen anyone like in the toilet. I have about a half an hour remaining. Right over Lake Songal Lagoon. Behind us is the Volta River. The sun shining off of it, reflecting off. And below us, we're coming up on Accra. See if we can find the airport. Right here, actually, right below us is probably Tima and Ashaiman. A little bit further on will be Accra. Right over there. There's the airport. We can see the runway for Accra. See the airport right down there. We can see the flashing light for Accra. And we are now en route to Mimti, which I believe is our final waypoint. Oh no, we have a couple. Well, not our final waypoint at all. There's probably 3 or 4 after that. I haven't tried this with the ATC communication, if I could request things through here. Like a direct to, something you can't get on the on this. I can't request direct to, I can't request a speed change. I can just do altitude and stuff. They do the weather, due to aircraft performance. I haven't tried that. I'm going to try that at any time. I'm going to have to watch a video first. Make sure I know what I'm doing. I don't want to cause a mess.
EasyJet 571 descend and maintain flight level 260.
Descend and maintain flight level 260 EasyJet 571.
Spain trying to get back into the plane. Alright, we're descending to flight level 260. Seatbelt lines on. Or descent.
To assist with customs at our destination, flight attendants will begin handing out forms momentarily. Please review and complete these forms instantly for presentation upon arrival. Ladies and gentlemen, the seatbelt sign is now turned on, so it's time to return to your seat and fasten your seatbelt.
571, contact Dakar Center on 129.1.
Oh, that must be the Emirates, I think.
Heavy traffic is 9 o'clock 4 miles at flight level 225 Airbus A320neo.
Pretty close.
Report them in sight.
Just make them out.
Going to 129.1 Cedarjet 571.
That's supposed to be the Emirates.
Dakar Center
Yep.
Cedarjet 571 is passing flight level 220,
Pretty cool.
descending flight level 200.
Yeah, we might be taking that. That might be our flight that we're going to be taking for one of these planes. We're going to be doing the Emirates. Won't be doing the 780. No, we might fly it in the 787. 10. Had a few issues with that before though, but hopefully we can get past that because it's nice to fly different planes. It's nice to get good at one plane, but also to jump into some of these other planes.
Cedarjet 571, you are 68 miles east. Descend and maintain 10,000 feet. Expect VOR DME to the runway 21 approach via debris transition. Clear to debris. Cedarjet 571, descend and maintain 2,200 feet. Descend and maintain 2,200 feet. Expect VOR DME Zulu runway 21 approach via debris transition. Cleared to debris Cedarjet 571.
Let's get it in the flight computer. We're taking VOR, DMEZ Zulu runway 21. That's what I thought we were going to get. Tip, always make sure you hit your heading here so that just in case it decides to bounce to the wrong, back to the last waypoint, because right now we're going to Banak and it's going to switch, I know it will. So there's our VOR, no star, debris transition. So we'll just go Novias. Because we already have debris in there. Okay, it's now taking us to debris. It should be. Yes, that's right. Let's just make sure on our chart before we get all good go. So this is Banak right there. Yeah, you can't click on the waypoints for some reason. Where's Banak? Okay, let's get this all in. Now we can see the right chart. Debris transition. There we go. Let's get the chart well. There it is. We're gonna get debris, and we'll just come in probably, unless we need to go around and get to the right altitude. But by the time we get to debris, we need to be at 2,200 feet, 6.2 miles out from the VOR. That's when we'll start our 3-degree descent. We already have our VOR in and our final approach course. Let's double check that. 114.3 Alpha Delta, course 207. Yep. And let's get our minimum in, 430 feet. Good to go. If we have to do a go around, we're going to climb out, left-hand turn. We're going to climb on 207 degrees to 5.6 miles out, then turn left, climb into 2200, follow R042 to join dip. I don't know why it had to really return there. We were already online with it. Speed is adjusting now to 290 knots. I think when you go to heading mode, for some reason, it doesn't do all the... It just goes vertical speed. You can't change that for some reason. That's the Abi Lagoon. On our right is Aboiso.
Cedar Jet Flight 71, please expedite your descent 2,200 feet.
I think that's it right there. And further up that is Lakta Yame. Really not sure why we're not going Dipri, which is 282.
We have begun our final descent into your destination. Flight attendants will be passing through the cabin to select any track one final time. Please ensure tray tables are stowed and seats are in the full upright position. Please also store any carry-on items either in the seat back pocket or under the seat cavity. Please complete all Wi-Fi related tasks and stow any larger electronics.
Below 10,000. Let's get our landing lights on.
Abidjan approach Cedar Jet Flight 71 is at 5,300 feet, descending 2,200 feet.
Cedar Jet 571 Abidjan approach QNH 29er decimal 9er to continue to debrief as planned.
was very interesting why the plane was kind of flying kind of a boat pattern actually instead of going direct to the waypoint. We do need to be down to 230 knots. 20 knots. Once we get to Ivory, I believe it looks like. We have 3 minutes, so it should be good.
$2,500.
Okay, let's get our speed down to 220. Once we make this turn, we'll hit the approach phase, and that we'll go back to managed speed, and the speed will adjust based on our flaps. This looks more humid right here, doesn't it? See the runway just off in the distance. Flaps, or the spoilers. At 6.2 miles out, we begin our descent.
North of Abidjan. Contact Abidjan Tower on 118.1 when inbound on the approach.
Tower on 118.1 Cedarjet 571.
The auto throttle isn't doing what I want it to do.
Abidjan Tower Cedarjet 57110 miles north inbound for DME Zulu runway 21 approach. Cedarjet 571 Abidjan Tower. QNH 29.9er 2 with 276 at 7. Cleared via
It actually captured the ILS. I had the ILS in there too.
Cleared VOR, VME, Zulu runway 21 approach. Abidjan Tower, Cedarjet 571 inbound for DME.
Our approach speed is going to be 130, landing speed 125.
Cedarjet 571 Abidjan Tower. QNH 29.90 with 276 at 7. Cleared VOR, VME, Zulu runway 21 approach. Cedarjet 571 with 276 at 7. Cleared to land runway 21. Cleared VOR, DME Zulu runway 21 approach Cedarjet 571.
Wasn't planning on doing the ILS, but I guess I have the ILS in there and they have it on. So when we hit approach, it actually picked it up. That's why it hit the glide slope. I was going to take it in manually, but this is alright too. We'll land it about our minimums. We'll cut the autopilot and bring it in ourselves. Our speed, landing gear down. See, it's always doing this now on approach. It's like reloading everything just as I come in, so it kills the frame rate. Floating here.
300. 200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. 5.
Why there's so many Fiji airlines here.
Ladies and
Those are all
gentlemen,
just
we have
parked
reached our
aircraft.
destination. The local time is 7:52 a.m. and it's currently about 15 degrees Celsius. You can now use your mobile devices. Please remain seated until the aircraft has come to a complete stop and the seatbelt sign is turned on. Remember to use caution when opening the overhead bins, as items may have shifted during the flight. If this is your final destination, we thank you for flying with us. If you're making a connection, we encourage you to check your itinerary to ensure a smooth continuation of your journey.
Abidjan ground, Cedarjet 571 request taxi to the gate. Cedarjet 571 taxi to gate 37 via taxiway cross runway 03. taxiing to gate 37 via taxiway cross runway 03 CedarJet 571.
37. There's no gate 37. We're gonna go over by that Fiji, over that direction. I don't know why they're telling us to cross runway 03. I don't believe there's any gates over there. Are there? No. Let's go drive into the city or something. You know what I mean? It's just all these trucks. They should be like driving. There's a path. A lot of these airports here, they don't have them. Angle, or do we go?
Abidjan Tower, Max Avia 113 at Marta Center, ready to copy.
We are going way too fast there on taxi.
113 is cleared to Sin Airport as
See if
filed.
that's good for the jetway.
Takeoff runway 21 climb and maintain 10,000 feet. Departure frequency is 121.1 squawk 0533.
Sometimes you get smart jetways that go where you are parked. Nice. Okay. Parking brake is set.
Max Avia 113 cleared to Sino Airport as filed.
Taxi lights off. Runway turn off lights off. AP bleed on.
Departure on 129.1 squawk 0533.
Engine shut down.
Max Avia 113
That's our flight, an hour and 11 minutes.
8.1.
We also get anything else coming up here. We get our power. Turn off our beacon light. Seatbelt lights off.
Requesting pushback.
And the passengers are going to start deboarding.
Abidjan ground, Max Avia 113. No pushback tap is available to answer your request.
Alright, while they are deboarding, while they're deboarding, we're going to look at our flight today. First person to arrive in Boeing, Abidjan. Review our flight. Good flight path. I'm not sure why here it kind of curved and then just go direct, but you kick back in. Landing rate pretty good, 142 feet per minute. G-force a little under 1G. Fuel burn 2,700 kilos. Landing speed 121, just 4 knots slower than we're supposed to, and 460 nautical miles in distance. So good flight overall. Then we'll open up our world map for our world tour. You can see Africa is quickly being populated with flags of the nations that we have gone to. And here is the Ivory Coast, or Côte d'Ivory. And there we go. And no, that is not the Irish flag. I believe the Irish flag goes green, white, orange. Côte d'Ivory goes orange, white, green.
Abidjan Tower, Max Avia 113 and runway 21 ready for departure on Marta Center.
Max Avia 113 QNH 29.9er 21276 at 7. Cleared for takeoff runway 21.
And our last passenger off the plane is Hussein Berkani. And we can end the flight now. Get our feedback, 137 feet per minute, 94% satisfied. Soft landing. You can see a plane going over there. We've got a plane taking off. Awesome. Thanks for coming along today. Looks like it's American Airlines. That's interesting. This is live traffic. Anyway, thanks for coming along on this flight to the Ivory Coast. Please remember to like the video, comment below, share it, and consider hitting that subscribe button and the notification bell. Next flight we'll be flying to Accra, Ghana from here. And until then, keep the blue side up, happy flying, and take care.